It's an interesting time for business. Tariff and trade policies are dynamic, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. If your business can't adapt in real time, you are in a little bit of hurt. So how do you get full visibility and adapt in real time? Over 42,000 businesses trust NetSuite by Oracle, your AI-powered business management suite. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. NetSuite is the #1 cloud ERP for a reason. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. Real-time forecasting helps you move into the future with confidence, and with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. You spent months building towards launch day, but when the clock hits 0, your site crashes. Bots swarm, and loyal fans rage on Reddit. That's not good. Fanfare was built to stop that. Fanfare is the drop platform made for high-pressure moments, stampede-proof infrastructure, verified waitlists, and bot filters that actually work. Instead of refunds and rage, you get retention and revenue. And that sounds great to me. Your next launch shouldn't be a gamble. Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook and learn how to bulletproof your drop at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, that's fanfare.io/playbook.
Welcome to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, where it's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later. And now your host. He thinks 3M should sponsor the show because he uses so many Post-it notes, Pat Flynn.
With running your own business, legal questions always come with the territory. Like, can I use this contract or agreement? What do I do if a client doesn't pay? Am I even structured the right way for taxes? Instead of Googling your way through legal landmines, imagine having a law firm ready to address your business's legal needs without the sticker shock. That's what you get with Legal Shield's small business plans. Legal Shield helps entrepreneurs access real legal help on contract reviews, collection letters, business formation guidance, and even help navigating IRS audits. Members can schedule consultations, upload documents through the app, and get support from a provider law firm that knows small business laws in your state. Plus, consultations on taxes or trademarks help you stay ahead of potential problems. And if a client is late on a payment, Legal Shield steps in with professional collection letters so you can protect your hard-earned revenue, all for a fraction of the price of hiring a lawyer on your own. Go to LegalShield.com/SPI or call 833-570-9980 to learn more and get big business legal support without a big business budget. That's LegalShield.com/SPI. While DIY website tools are everywhere, most fall short on design and performance. Hit publish. Framer ships your site worldwide in seconds. No code, no compromises. Framer is a powerful, user-friendly platform that delivers developer-level results without writing a single line of code. Make your designs move and convert with Framer. Framer brings your site to life with powerful animations, dynamic content handling, and a design-first approach that helps your site stand out. Framer is the design-first, no-code website builder that lets anyone ship a production-ready site in minutes. Browse hundreds of pixel-perfect templates or even design something of your own on a totally blank canvas. Add bold animations like appear effects, text effects, scroll and looping animations, and much more in seconds. And it's free to start. The built-in AI handles the heavy lifting of generating starter layouts and can even translate your entire site to any language. On the back end, you'll get responsive breakpoints, built-in hosting, a flexible CMS, and privacy-friendly analytics. Ready to build a site that looks hand-coded without hiring a developer? Launch your site for free at Framer.com and use code SPI to get your first month of Pro on the house. That's Framer.com, promo code SPI. Framer.com, promo code SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply. I was so scared. You could probably even hear it. I was scared. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this previous week's episode of the podcast where I interviewed Chris Voss, who is the author of Never Split the Difference, a book about negotiation. He's a former FBI hostage negotiator, and I've never been more scared going into an interview. And I want to spend this follow-up Friday episode not necessarily talking about what it's like to interview somebody like that. You just do it, right? You just kind of go into it. I was very, very grateful that we got to chat, and even in our premium cast, we had even more fun talking about family and stuff. So once we broke the ice, it started to get a little bit better. But I wanted to give you something that was very similar feeling to me back in the day when I first started, something that was extremely helpful to the start of my business that I know if I didn't do, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And it relates to this idea of, being scared or having an anxiety about doing something. Now, with relation to this podcast, I was very grateful because Jess scheduled it on my calendar. She reached out, we were able to connect, and I had to show up, right? So there we go. I really had no excuse. I could back out, of course, but that wouldn't be good. But it was set up as an interview. But there's going to be cases in the future where, especially after we get out of this sort of lockdown, COVID, post-pandemic period, where you're going to be in group situations, you're going to be at conferences, you're going to be with and around other people. And I'll tell you, I've been around a few people as we've been coming out of this. I mean, just close groups, people we trust and whatnot. And even I'm still having trouble remembering what it's like to, talk to other people in a group. It's really weird. You kind of fall out of it. And as we prepare to get back into the real world, as we all prepare to potentially go to conferences and meet new people, I wanted to give you a piece of advice that helped me when I first started. And that is the 3-second rule. What is the 3-second rule and when is it applied? Well, let's talk about that first. This is applied when you are in a place and you see somebody that you want to meet. And that person could be somebody who maybe is an idol to you, or somebody that you need to reach out to, or maybe you need to have a conversation with them. Maybe potentially you want to start a partnership, or at least even just ask a question. If you are at all an introvert like me, this 3-second rule is going to come in very handy. Because to us introverts, meeting new people is very difficult. To us introverts, meeting new people is not something that's comfortable. But when you realize how important it is to meet other people and just how impactful any new relationship could be in your life, in your path, and vice versa, you to theirs, you realize that you have to meet new people. And if I could go back into time, 88 miles per hour, back in the DeLorean and talk to my younger self, I would tell myself, Pat, number 1, that girl that you've been tripping about, she's not worth it. Number 2, meet as many people as you can. And don't worry about what they're going to say, because you never know. That next relationship could be the one that changes everything for you. So the 3-second rule is something that you tell yourself when you are in that moment where you see the person that you are going to be hopefully speaking to, shaking their hand, giving them a hug when we can all do that again. Maybe not a hug upon first impression, but in those first moments when typically, especially us introverts, talk ourselves out of doing that, we come up with every scenario in our head to get out of that situation. We come up with every excuse possible to not move forward. The 3-second rule is this: don't give yourself more than 3 seconds to psych yourself out. You go up to that person and you introduce yourself within 3 seconds. Now, of course, there's some caveats here. If the person is in literally the middle of a conversation, you don't want to be rude and interrupt them. You wait to your turn and to your chance, and then you go for it. You don't psych yourself out. If you happen to be walking by them in the hallway and they're with a group, but they're not really chatting, you say, hey, excuse me, John, I just wanted to say thank you for what you do. It's been great to hear your podcast. Can I ask you a quick question? It's interesting because I remember what it was like going back to 2010, Blog World Expo, the very first conference and convention I ever went to. It was at the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas. Again, it was called Blog World Expo. Later on, it turned into New Media Expo, the same event that I spoke at in 2015 on stage with a real-life DeLorean that I brought on to the stage with me. Then the next year, the event didn't happen anymore. So I guess, I don't know, maybe they thought we already set the bar too high. I don't know. Anyway, 2010, I was not as open to the idea. I still am somewhat nervous, and I'll tell you a quick story at the end here of a moment where I didn't follow the 3-second rule. I may have shared that story before, but it's worth telling again because I still kick myself, and I hope that I get a chance to meet this person again in the future. I'll tell you all about that in a minute. But 2010, I had no idea what I was doing at a conference. All I knew is I was a blogger. This was a blogging conference. Bloggers who wanted to grow, go to blogging conferences and meet people and sit in on the conference talks and learn and try to get better. And I was invited to, because of the success of the Smart Passive Income blog quite early on, I was invited to a little mastermind group. And this mastermind group met a day before the event in a conference room that had a set of tables set up in like a U-shaped fashion. And I saw my name tag there, and I sat down, and I had no idea who was going to enter the room. I didn't know anybody. And then a few people came in whose names I recognized, and guess what? I got even more scared. I saw people walk in like Darren Rouse from ProBlogger, and Chris Guthrie, another person who had a blog back then called How to Make Money on the internet.com. Like literally that was the domain name. Because back then, domain names, the more that you can exact match them to the search term, the better off you were. Not anymore. And I don't think Chris has that website anymore. But I remember just not talking to anybody. I remember not ever raising my hand. I remember listening to everybody else and only talking when it was my turn to talk. And I'm very grateful because people like Chris Guthrie, had came up to me afterwards. He was like, "Hey, Pat, I like your blog. You want to go grab a lunch or grab a coffee?" And we got chatting, and that's how we became friends, because he initiated the conversation. And if he didn't do that, I don't know if we'd be friends today. But I'm very grateful for that. We've kept in contact since then. But it started with the start. It always starts with the start. And if I could go back to then, I would do a much better job of mustering up the courage to just say hello to people and to not give myself enough time to psych myself out. Because that's really what I did. What are they going to say? Are they even going to like me? I'm just going to look like an idiot in front of these people. Who am I to reach out and extend my hand to them? I think Lewis House was also in the room too, from School of Greatness. And it's interesting because, I think back and I'm like, Pat, what were you doing? But then I remember, I still feel like that sometimes. But I have the 3-second rule. And the 3-second rule has helped me through many situations, at all the conferences I've been at all the little workshops I've been to, at the mastermind groups I've been invited to. I haven't given myself that much of a chance to talk myself out of meeting new people. And again, that encouragement of, okay, that next person that I meet, that next person who I say hello to, maybe there's some value that I could give them, and then I could get value in exchange back in return. Maybe not then, maybe not immediately, and maybe not ever monetarily, but in some way, shape, or form, perhaps. And it's those chances that you give yourself. Every new relationship you create is like planting a new seed that could at some point sprout and turn into something, to be fruitful, if we want to keep going with the analogy. So who's this person who I didn't use the 3-second rule with that I wish I did? Well, I was speaking at an event, and this was very recently. This was 2018 in San Diego, in the comfort of my own hometown, yet still not having the courage to say hello to this person. I was invited to a Dave Ramsey event. It was called Entre Leadership, and I spoke on hot topic, superfans, building raving fans out of people who just find you. This is a topic that obviously I'm very familiar with. I wrote the book on it, Superfans. Check it out if you haven't already. The audiobook's great. I go off script every once in a while. So I'm in the green room. If you don't know what the green room is, that's the room where they put the speakers and the VIPs to hang out outside of the bigger crowds, just to give them space. There's oftentimes some beverages and some food and hors d'oeuvres there, and a bunch of tables, and often resting areas where people can sit in groups and chat or sit more privately. And I was there getting I remember, it was a Perrier water. It was in a glass with ice, and it was one of those smaller green glass bottles. I was pouring myself a Perrier. Not too much, though. I don't want too much bubbly before I go on stage, but I was about 20 minutes before talking on stage. And all of a sudden, the door opens, and I see Simon Sinek walk in the room. Simon Sinek, Start With Why, his book, his very famous TED Talk. And I really, really loved all that he's done, and I wanted to say thanks. But I was pouring my Perrier, and he was there. He was getting some food on the other side, and I never had the courage to just go and say hello. That was the perfect time, in the green room, not in front of anybody. And I could, when I started to think about it more, I was like, oh, well, he's probably too busy, or he's probably coming in the green room to escape chatting and doing small talk. Like me, I escape to the green room sometimes to escape the small talk and, decompress and regain my energy. Us introverts, we have to escape people to regain energy. Extroverts have to be around people to gain energy. So I thought, okay, maybe Simon's an introvert like me. And again, all this in just a few seconds, thinking about all these reasons why I shouldn't come up to him, all the things bad that could happen, or just, especially I was like, well, I'm about to go on stage. Like, what if he blows me off and then, I just fumble my talk and then I'm thinking about it all day. No, I'm not going to take that chance. Well, here am I today, 2.5 years later, talking about it, knowing it was a complete mistake. And sure, it could have just been a, hey, hello, how are you? Hey, hello. Yeah, hey, nice to meet you. That's it. That would have been something at least. And here's the thing. At least I would have given it a shot. You got to shoot your shot, people. You got to shoot your shot. So the 3-second rule. Hopefully that is something you can put in your back pocket the next time you go to a group meeting, a parent-teacher meeting, whatever it might be, where you're around a bunch of people. Don't be afraid to say hello. Now, I know one thing you might be thinking, which is, well, what am I even going to say? Just start talking. Just start talking. Because an object at rest tends to stay at rest until you start talking. And once you get going, the motions, that keeps you going, right? An object in motion tends to stay in motion. So just get into it, and you never know. You never know. So I wish I could take that back. I wish I could go back and say hello to Simon Sinek. And I'm sure there'll be another opportunity in the future. I'm still going to be speaking on stages here and there, not as much as I used to, but that was definitely an opportunity lost. So the 3-second rule. Or if you want to chat with somebody, schedule a podcast episode with a specific date and time where you're going to chat with this person, and no matter how crazy their resume might be, no matter how many hostage situations they've been a part of and how much they've negotiated their way out of something, you're going to have a good time. And I definitely had a great time with Chris. I hope you listened to that episode if you haven't already. That was episode 481. 481 with Chris Voss. It was a great one. How to use negotiation to level up, both in business and in life. I hope you check it out. So thank you again for listening in. I have been very, very much appreciating the kind words about these Friday follow-up episodes, because I think we've gotten a lot of feedback over the years. Like, Pat, I love the solo shows. The interviews are great too. And the idea of going twice a week, a Wednesday interview, followed up by a Friday solo show. I think you get the best of both worlds. This one's a little bit shorter. The other one is a little bit longer. And I just wanted to say thank you for the positive feedback that has been coming in. It's definitely been pushing me. It's more work, but it's work that I enjoy doing, especially when I hear that feedback. So if you wanted to offer any sort of constructive criticism or positive feedback, hit me up on Twitter or Instagram at Pat Flynn and let me know. Let me know if you end up using the 3-second rule at any time, or maybe use this opportunity to not think and send me a message. Don't worry about what I'm going to say. I'm going to do my best to reply. And again, at Pat Flynn on Twitter would likely be the easiest one for me to see. But at Pat Flynn on Instagram, I get to Instagram every once in a while if you send me a DM. But anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I look forward to serving you next week on a Wednesday. Another great interview with, in fact, one of our very own, a student of SPI, a listener of the show, who's created something amazing and a beautiful success story that's, I'm sure, going to encourage you. So make sure you hit subscribe and look forward to that one. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And as always, Team Flynn for the win. Peace out. Thanks for listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast at smartpassiveincome.com. I'm your host, Pat Flynn. Sound design and editing by Paul Gregoris. Our senior producer is Sarah Jane Hess. Our series producer is David Grabowski. And our executive producer is Matt Gartland. The Smart Passive Income Podcast is a production of SPI Media. We'll catch you in the next session. More people dream about building their own business and being their own boss rather than retiring early. But a majority of them never even take the first steps to register the business. Why? Because starting a business can feel overwhelming. With legal forms, paperwork, finances, it's a lot. And that's where Taylor Brands comes in. Taylor is a complete business builder designed to make launching your business simple and stress-free. You can register your LLC in just minutes, keeping your personal and business assets separate from day one. And from there, you can get access to everything you need to get off the ground, from legal documents, licenses and permits, invoicing and bookkeeping tools, and even a 100-day business coaching program to help you hit the ground running. You'll also get a free personalized business plan, branding tools, and so much more. And of course, our listeners get an exclusive 35% discount to get started. Just head to tailorbrands.com/SPI. That's TAILORBRANDS.com/SPI. Stop dreaming, start building with Tailor Brands. Hey, fellow podcaster, does this sound like something you've experienced? Record your podcast episode on one platform, download the files, edit in another app, then fire up a different tool just to create these social clips. Well, it can be clunky, time-consuming, and frankly overwhelming, especially for creators trying to grow. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Riverside. Riverside is the all-in-one platform. Record, edit, and repurpose your podcast content all in one place. You just log in, record with your guests no matter where you are in the world, and just like that, studio-quality audio and high-resolution video. We use Riverside here at SPI as well now. With built-in AI, I can automatically clean up my audio, saving myself so much editing time, and it can even auto-generate clips to make promoting the show a breeze. And with Magic Clips, I can grab the best moments and repurpose them as short-form video, perfect for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram, without re-recording a thing. So if you're tired of juggling tools and want a faster, simpler way to create and scale your content, it's time to try Riverside, built by creators for creators. Just go to smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside and use code SMART to get 1 month free on the Pro plan. That's smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside, promo code SMART.